I just keep going? So, can you all hear me? I'm not quite as tall as Lori, so we got to get this a little lower here. One thing I wanted to point out about the state water plan is not only did Governor Malloy order the state agencies to begin implementation of the draft plan and clearly stated in his executive order that water is a public trust, Governor Lamont similarly in his first executive order recognized the state water plan and water as a public trust, and I think that's quite telling. What I want to do, Lori talked about the implementation plans and some of the things her agency is working on. Which button do I press, the red button? Okay. Some of the things we're working on, and I'll be very quick. For those of you who were at the celebration yesterday, we had a celebration recognizing the completion of streamflow classifications. It's the first major step. That was some 16 years in the making between regulation development and getting it underway to classify every stream segment in the state of Connecticut based upon a narrative flow standard. What the finalization of the classification of all these stream segments statewide means is that the clock has now been set based upon when they were adopted, and those are the dates for which utilities will have to make stream flow releases downstream. And it was geared on 10 years after the classifications in the particular basin were adopted. So the clock is now running. The second thing we're working on, and Lori may mention this, is a new annual diversion use reporting form. For those of you who have permits, you're already using a form. You're submitting it to us annually. There was an existing law that required us to work with stakeholders to put together a form similarly for registered diversions to use. We've merged those two forms, and that's going to be underway quite shortly. It's available for download on our website as we speak. And it's going to be electronic to be incorporated into an existing database. There was a great, very diverse work group that was approved by the Water Planning Council for us to move forward with, and they did a great job bringing all the different perspectives of all those different sectors into how we develop the form, and we thank them. There's a little peek of what the form looks like. It'll help us better evaluate what uses are actually coming out and assess stream impacts. So this should be an amazing tool for us. It's also going to feed into our third thing we're working on, which is with USGS, a stream flow and sustainable water use estimator. It's going to build off the state water plan, which was on a major basin level, help us refine that data on a basin level. This report's available. There's the link. We got a HUD grant to hire USGS to do this. Like all state agencies, we have to be very creative. We don't have any real money to implement the state water plan, so we have to use existing resources, existing statute authorities, and get grant money wherever we can, so we're really creative in doing that. And lastly, the last thing we're working on, and this is our fourth year of doing it during the summer, is monitoring stream flow with trail cameras. There were a lot of incidental reports and sometimes fish kills, like in the Fenton River, some very famous ones, with streams drying up associated with groundwater wells. We're out there now using trail cams, and no, we won't tell you where we're putting them because they get stolen. And we're really being able to show what the impacts are. It's also helping us in drought monitoring because we get to really see what the availability to our critical water supplies are during a drought and how that is effective. So it's playing into a lot of different things. Some of our staff who goes out in the field is here today, and they're doing a great job. And where we're trying to focus some of this is in our impaired waters. We know when we have in our integrated water quality list that every 2 years we have to give to EPA, we have to identify flow impaired waters. This is the map, and we expect to, we really believe that that probably underrepresents what's really going on out there. So more to come on that. And so that just gives you some highlights of the stuff that our staff is working on. And none of this is new. We've been working on this stuff for years, but it really all comes together on the state water plan to highlight it. That's it.
Thank you, Denise.